Hi, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm showing you how to add your Tikka when someone wants their hair down without a bun, and also how to actually secure your Tikka on the forehead so it doesn't move. Carry on watching. So I'm starting off by showing you how to actually add your Tikka to a style when you're not actually having a bun or any padding. So if they just want their hair down with curls or they want them straightened, but they still want to have a Tikka in. So I'm taking, I've sectioned the front off, as you can see, and then I'm just taking a small portion of the hair from the middle, back combing it slightly, and then I'm going to twist this and pin it down. Now I'm going to cross over my pins. Now sometimes the pins do stick up, so when you bring the front section over you might see the odd pin sticking out, so you just have to adjust those pins afterwards. So I'm just going to cross them over horizontally, one over the other, so this will help me attach the Tikka. Now sometimes you get a lot of Tikka which don't actually have a very long chain. I've had this problem so many times, so if you don't know how to add your Tikka in, sometimes you'll end up trying to pin it and it's quite forward and you can see the pins, but there's no other way of you actually pinning it. So what I tend to do is use a piece of thread. So I've got this white thread. I tend to use black normally, but this is what I had at the moment when I was filming this tutorial for you guys. So just any piece of thread, and you're going to double it up and then knot it. So you just take a small amount. My actual Tikka that I'm using in this video actually had a long chain, so I don't need to use it, but I just wanted to show you guys how I would use the thread if my Tikka wasn't long enough. So I'm going to I've doubled it up and I'm just putting a few knots in it, and then what I would do is attach it to the end of the Tikka, and then I would take this to the back and then attach it and just start pinning away where I wanted to. And it's quite strong. You can use any kind of thread really. I mean, this is just like normal strong cotton really. So I'm just showing you here that end there where I'm actually just looping my pin, I would normally just be tying the thread to that part of the Tikka, pull it down and then just pin it. Now because mine's actually long enough, I'm going to be using my U-pins, but that is how you would actually avoid having to pin the Tikka right at the front where you can actually see the pins. So you can see my thread's quite long, and you would just take it down to wherever you wanted to and just pin it there where I've actually crossed my pins. So I'm using this U-pin, so I'm just adjusting it into where I need it, and it just feels secure now because I've got those two pins already in there. It's secure. So then obviously make sure you're placing your Tikka where you want it. So you can see my daughter in there, she made a bit of a guest appearance today. So I just hold my Tikka where I'm happy with it. So just be careful here, sometimes when you do pin it will move the Tikka, so you might just need to readjust it. So I just hold it down and then I'm going to cross over with another two pins now. So the U-pin's already gone in, that's secured with these two pins now, and then your Tikka won't move basically. If you had just tried to slide the Tikka in and slide some bobby pins over, the hair is just too fine sometimes, so it will end up just moving about everywhere. So now that I've done that, I'm going to take a small section either side of the Tikka, and I'm going to grab this and I'm going to back comb in this. So this is the first section, so this is my section that I'm going to back comb quite a bit, and I'm going to bring it over the Tikka pins that I've got there now. So just a bit of hairspray. You can use some of the powder that you get as well for back combing, so you can use that, or a bit of hairspray. So I back comb this quite well, so you don't really want to be able to see any gaps here. So I spread it across, and then I'm just going to go over with my comb. You can see that pin that was just sticking out now, so I'm just adjusting that. So you're just going to comb over. So you don't want to get rid of your back combing here. You just want to be able to cover that Tikka. So once I'm happy with that, I then go on to the next section of the hair. So I'm going to take another section either side of the Tikka, and I'm going to back comb, and this is my final section. So the first one I took over was actually just covering everything and giving me a little bit of height. Obviously at this point, if you wanted more height, you would have back combed at that first bit a little bit more. So it just depends how much height you actually want, but purely I'm just showing you in this video how I would actually cover the Tikka and how I would actually initially get it in. So I've got this the very first section now, so this one needs to be quite neat. And also what you need to be careful about is, like, my Tikka has some beading going on the back, so it's quite wide there, so you do tend to get a gap. Now when you've got a Tikka in it, it doesn't really look that nice when you've got that slight gap, so I try and avoid that gap. So you can see me here, I'm back combing it all, but I do realise that I've still got that gap in the middle, so I just need to kind of like back comb that middle section a little bit more. So what I do is I just let go of the, well, either side, and just take that middle section, and I just give that a little bit more of a back comb so that there's no gap, there's no split happening there. Obviously again, it's personal choice. If you don't mind having that, then that's fine as well, but I tend to try and cover that up as best as I can. So then I'm just taking all 3 sections back, and I'm going to start smoothing over. So you can see that I'm just smoothing everything over now, just with my comb, very slightly. I'm not going through the back combing or anything, I'm just smoothing over the hair. And then from here, then you can style your hair how you want to. So I'm just going to back comb it a little bit and straighten my hair, but you know, you could curl it at this point or straighten it, whichever you want to. So I'm just showing you, sometimes you want to have like a low bun, so in that case, like, I'm just going to show you now that, you know, you could just take the sides back here now, and your Tikka is actually secure, and then you could just have the sides back, or you could just do a very low bun or twist it or whatever you wanted to, but your Tikka's in by this point. So that's how I would actually attach my Tikka, and this is how I would attach it on other styles as well. But you know, it just depends on whether you've got a bun. There's just so many different ways of showing you, but in this particular video I'm just showing you this way now. And then I've just straightened her hair, and you can see, you can't see where the Tikka is. So I hope that all made sense, and now you can carry on watching, and I'm going to show you how I actually would stick the Tikka to the forehead. So this now would need sticking down from the front as well, so I'll show you that. Now there are a few ways to stick down your Tikka. It just depends on what Tikka you've got really as well, because sometimes the Tikka can be hollow, so it just depends how much of it is actually going to stick on your skin, because you can only literally glue down the bits that are actually going to be touching the skin, because sometimes it's all hollow and it's lifted up. I hope that makes sense. There's a lot of, you know, different shapes that you get, so but anyway, what you can do here is, if you are going to be placing a dupatta and you're not going to be seeing the rest of the hair where I was just showing you, you could just stick on 2 pins there as well to hold it in place. Now the first one is using glue dots. You can use glue dots. Now these, you get a few different ones, so there's some white ones, and these were the clear ones. They're a little bit tricky to get on, but you lift up your Tikka, and on the skin you just add your glue dot. You can see I'm struggling to get it off my finger there, but once you've got it, you just place your Tikka on and stick it on. Just make sure you really press down. Now with all the ways I'm showing you, you need to be careful, because your bride has got a lot of makeup on, and throughout the day she's going to sweat and things like that, so sometimes your Tikka can become loose. So if I'm using glue dots or glue, or whichever method I'm using, I normally give my client some of those with her, so that later on she might need to just use those. Second method is double-sided tape. So I just take a bit of tape, and I'm going to add that to the forehead, peel it off, and then just stick my Tikka on. So these are all good ways of doing it. I mean, glue I use a lot of as well, but sometimes the glue can leave a mark, obviously when the Tikka comes away, if you've been sweating and things like that. So sometimes it leaves like a mark, so I don't always like using that, but it just depends, whatever sticks at that point really, whatever we use. So I've just used the double-sided tape, added that on, taken the backing off, and then pressed my Tikka on, and you can see it doesn't move. So the next one, which is the popular method, is using eyelash glue. So this is any eyelash glue you can use. Now I'm using my black duo eyelash glue because I only had black, but I would normally use white glue here. Any glue that is white or sets clear basically. So the duo lash glue works well here. Now my Tikka, you can see it's got some holes in it, so you're not putting any glue in the hole. You're going to put the glue on all the bits that you can see that will actually be touching the forehead. because there's no point it being anywhere else if it's not going to touch the forehead. Once you've got your glue on, you have to make sure you leave it at least 1 to 2 minutes to let it go tacky, and then very carefully turn it over. Make sure you've got it in position. You don't want to be getting that glue anywhere because it's still wet at this point. Once you've got it in position, press on firmly. Now at this point I normally carry on doing something else, and I get my client to just hold down their Tikka at this point, and they'll hold it for a good 3 to 4 minutes until I tell them to let go. So let it dry completely, let it attach, and then I'm just feeling it here, and you can tell that it's not moving at this point, and then you can see, and then hopefully that's stuck on for most of the day, I would say. So I hope you've enjoyed these methods. I just thought I'd give you a few methods to do this, because if you don't know, you don't know. Some of these methods I've only known a while myself. So please do subscribe to my channel. Please like and comment as well, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye bye.